Of course, here is a 1,000-word article about the recent events on Chicago Fire, written in a high-engagement, emotional, and relatable tone. Firehouse 51's heart ripped out. The unthinkable accident that has us fearing the worst for Herrmann. There are moments in television that feel more real than they have any right to. Moments that stop you in your tracks, make the air leave your lungs, and leave you staring at a black screen with your heart pounding in your chest. For fans of Chicago Fire, we just lived through one of those moments together. It was a collective, gut-wrenching experience that has left the entire One Chicago family reeling, asking one unthinkable question. Have we just said goodbye to Christopher Herrmann? For over a decade, Firehouse 51 has been our second home. We've welcomed these characters into our living rooms every week, ridden along in Truck 81, and felt the heat of every blaze they've run into. But through all the chaos, through every harrowing rescue and personal struggle, some things felt constant. Some figures felt permanent. Christopher Herrmann was one of those figures. He's more than just a lieutenant. He's the seasoned veteran, the grumpy but loving father figure, the co-owner of our favorite fictional bar, Molly's. He is, in so many ways, the very soul of 51. That's why what we witnessed was so profoundly devastating. It wasn't just another close call in a long line of them. This felt different. It felt terrifyingly final. The call came in like any other, a multi-story industrial fire, smoke billowing into the Chicago sky. It was dangerous, yes, but it was what they do. It's their job, their calling. We watched as Chief Bowden coordinated the attack, as Severide and Cruz led squad, and as Herrmann guided his team from Truck 81 into the heart of the inferno. There was the usual banter, the unspoken trust between a team that has become a true family. Herrmann, as always, was the steady hand, his voice a calm and commanding presence over the radio, even as the flames roared around them. He was inside, searching for trapped civilians, pushing his team to be thorough but safe. He was doing what he has always done, putting others before himself. The building was unstable, groaning under the intense heat. The warnings were there, but the job wasn't done. That's the firefighter's curse. You don't leave until everyone is out. We heard the call for evacuation, the urgency in Bowden's voice escalating. And then, in a split second that seemed to stretch into an eternity, everything went wrong. A sudden, violent explosion ripped through the structure. The screen filled with fire and debris. For a moment, it was pure chaos. Shouting, static, and the horrifying sound of collapsing steel. When the dust began to settle, the true horror of the situation became clear. The camera focused on the frantic faces of the other firefighters, their eyes wide with panic as they screamed his name into the radio. Herrmann, Herrmann, respond. Silence. That silence was more deafening than any explosion. It was a void where a familiar, comforting voice should have been. The rescue effort that followed was one of the most intense and emotional sequences the show has ever produced. It wasn't just a mission anymore. It was personal. It was a desperate, frantic scramble to save one of their own. Mouch's panic, Ritter's fear, Bowden's stoic but cracking facade. It was all a reflection of what we were feeling at home, clenching our fists and holding our breath. When they finally found him, buried under a pile of rubble, our collective hearts shattered. He was motionless, his condition critical. The journey to Gaffney Chicago Med was a blur of frantic energy and hushed prayers. We saw his family, his wife Cindy and his children, rushing to the hospital, their faces etched with a terror we could all understand. The episode left us there, in the cold, sterile waiting room of a hospital, with no answers and a universe of fear. The screen faded to black, leaving Herrmann's life hanging precariously in the balance. The fallout online was immediate and immense. Social media exploded with a torrent of grief, disbelief, and desperate hope. Hashtags trended as thousands of fans shared their favorite Herrmann moments, His hilarious arguments with Mauch, his sage advice to the younger firefighters, his unwavering support for his family, both at home and at the firehouse. He is the one who invested his life savings to create Molly's, a haven for all of them. He's the one who fought his way back from a near-fatal stabbing years ago. He is a survivor. He has to be. But this time, the show's creators seem to be signaling something more permanent. Losing Herrmann would be a seismic shift for Chicago Fire. How would Firehouse 51 even function without him? His absence would leave a gaping hole that no new character could ever fill. He is the bridge between the old guard and the new, the one who remembers every battle scar, the